So this is a new massive development. This is a new order clarifying in-camera review. I've highlighted the most important part. Before the court is the motions by movants, though defendants, to quash subpoenas issued by TED Entertainment Inc. to Reddit, Discord, in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. Upon review of movement's declarations in support of their motion to quash, docket number 8, the court hereby orders movants to provide the court the portions excluded from the declarations. Remember, the declarations are the massive amounts, i.e., for example, the excluded portions referenced in docket number 8, part 2. Now, as an exercise, you can actually control F and search for excluded in both the declaration by their lawyer, Leah, as well as their own declaration, Jane Doe. So here we're looking at the 548-page declaration by their lawyer. We're going to find out exactly what they are trying to exclude and how that would, basically, they're hiding their identities. This is a poor lawyer. I don't know why the lawyer would include this. It's like, hey, we're hiding evidence from you that we don't want to give you, but we have it. Common sense would say Ethan's lawyer would just ask for the evidence, right? So this is the declaration of Doe, 158 pages. I am a former Reddit mod user, H3Snark mod team, currently an unnamed Doe, but listed as the author of the alleged inducement post. So this isn't just anybody. This is the person who made the inducement post for the contributory copyright. So again, there are many other mods. Maybe they feel safer. Let's read. Some details, including personal and medical details and details that could be used to identify Does, have been excluded from declarations and are not filed publicly for Doe's privacy and safety. The excluded portions. Does would only feel comfortable submitting the excluded portions to the court in camera for confidential review. So they called the judge out, and the judge called them out and said, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. So these are details, including personal and medical details that can identify them. And they wrote this thing. They wrote it believing, oh, the judge is not going to do in-camera review. Why would she do it this early? Well, the judge is doing it even before Ethan Klein's lawyer has responded. This is very unique because I'm sure the judge is curious. Who the F are these people? Who are these people? Like, imagine you're a judge, you're going about your day, and somebody drops 740 pages on you. And it's not just 740 pages of basically content that's not relevant to the case on contributory copyright infringement. Very little of it is actually discussing Denons, and very little of it is discussing the law of copyright and what defenses they want to apply. So that gets dropped on your table, and then these mofos, they keep dropping more. They drop a USB of unknown length, right? They want you to watch hours, as Ethan Klein's lawyer has mentioned. These live streams, each one cited, is hours long. They're full-length live streams they want you to watch. I mean, you can't just... And remember, when a lawyer drops this type of paperwork, the lawyer is raising their hand and said, I have confirmed it all. It's all relevant. It's all important stuff. I would not submit something irrelevant to the judge. And the judge has to then read all of it. And Ethan's lawyer has to read all of it. I mean, this is not something that is fun to do. Especially it's not relevant. So the judge is not like an H3Snarker. They just want to move on with the case. They have a bunch of other cases on their docket. They probably more important, honest to God, more important than this. And they want to get over the case and then just continue on, right? I mean, this is the type of case that ruins your holiday, ruins your weekend, because the sheer amount of information provided in these two declarations is astronomical. So we at least know the judge got to page 2. So the judge got to page 2, read this and it was like, hey, they calling me out, right? They said that they are willing if I ask them for the blah 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 decorations excluded from the declaration. If I ask them for the excluded portions that they have not provided, they said they would give it to me in camera review. So I'm going to ask for the in camera review right now before this gets any further. Like, it's very strange for the judge to step in before the plaintiff, in this case, has a chance to respond. We don't know what Ethan Klein's response will be. I mean, his response can make this whole thing moot. If he's like, all right, we forgive you. All right, we drop, but you don't know. I mean, obviously, we don't expect that to be Ethan's response, but in the court of law, anything goes. Like, it's, again, the judge wants to be as little involved as possible. The more the judge gets involved, the more likely there's an appeal and they get turned over in appeal, and that's egg on their face, right? That's the one major thing any judge wants to avoid getting overturned. And in this case is a magistrate judge, so they just give recommendations to the district judge. So they don't want to give bad recommendations, right? They don't want to be, so it's even worse, right? So appeal is always really bad for the judge to get, if it gets overturned. But here, like, if the district judge cannot rely on the recommendations of the magistrate judge, then what's the whole point of the magistrate judge, right? They have a reputation, they know each other. So this is very odd that even before they hear Ethan's argument of why these individuals, their names should be published, I want to know your names, right? So, because like, it could be a moot point depending on how Ethan responds to it. The most unlikely outcome, but still an outcome of possibility, Ethan just says, okay, I don't, you guys made a good argument, 740 pages, we're not going to read it, we'll just let you off the hook. Again, that is not a likely outcome with Ethan, but it is a potential outcome, and anytime a potential outcome would render what you're doing as a judge moot, you don't want to take action because there's no reason to, right? You just wait, and you see how the magistrate judges do. They just wait, and if something has to be decided because Ethan's lawyer's contesting it and they're contesting it, then it forces the judge to have a decision, then they have to decide. And that puts the judge at liability of being overturned or their recommendation not accepted, right? Any decisions made here can always be overturned later. So I think this is fascinating because the judge is definitely not happy, and she is 2 pages in and reads, so she's read the motion, now she's reading the declaration by Leah, and literally 2 pages in, they're talking about we're redacting information, we're withholding information that we believe is relevant because we're worried about our private, but we will hand this information to you in an in-camera review. The judge's like, okay, let's do it. And I think the judge is stepping in because, so that's docket number 8. It's basically a copy of the docket Volek Leah filed. So it's the same thing. It's the related document. It's the same thing as what they filed. So they not only filed the 740-page document one time, they filed it twice. You cannot make this stuff up. Geez, just imagine you're a human being and you get this and it's your homework for the weekend. And then you're like, no, we need an extension. No, we need another extension. And this time we need it for 2 more weeks. It is one of the, and we're going to talk about this lawyer here. I don't want to pick, people think in comments, oh, I'm picking on her because I seem to go in law school. I went to a top law school, by the way. No, I'm picking on her because this is bad, right? Like, it's so bad. Like, so you have information that identifies them, and you're just baiting the judge. Oh, well, we have this information, but we're going to redact it. Haha. But if you want an in-camera review, we can give you one. And the judge's like, I want an in-camera review. Who the hell are these people? Right? It is going to get bad for these guys. I mean, H3Snark, they didn't hire the best attorney they could have hired. Clearly, the billable hours are through the roof. If this attorney is getting paid, which I hope she is. I'm gonna talk in my next video, and I don't want to tear down anyone in terms of like attorneys and stuff, because attorneys, you don't poop where you eat, right? But holy shit, this is bad. This is bad.